Welcome to TiffDoesLoans podcast. So today I have Lily Sosa.
Yay, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in. This is my hard money girl, by the way. Obsessed with her. And she is with Quick Close Funding. So thank you so much for coming in. I think we met a little while back at another event, and I was like, this is my girl. So instantly started talking to her and just trying to get all that knowledge for our investors, especially in this market, because she is focused on not just like hard money loans, but she can help get that creative financing and, just the knowledge and the strategy to keep these investors in business, keep them getting in the houses, even in this tough market. So can't wait to hear all about that. So why don't you just kind of start by telling us, how you got into real estate, a little background, some of your journey.
Yeah, thank you. That's perfect intro. I don't often meet, a lot of loan officers that talk about creative financing and transactional funding and investor strategies. So it's refreshing, right? For me as well to meet people like you. And so I'm honored, to be able to talk to your investors. But a little bit about me. I got into real estate and mortgages about 7 years ago. Before that, I was an MBA executive working for working for HR and operations management at big universities and construction management companies.
That's
before I decided to come out here. But I decided to get into real estate and mortgages, and I started at the bottom with loan processing, right? Because there's a lot to learn. And I moved up to being a loan officer. And so I was doing what you're doing, serving other people, helping them build their wealth through real estate, until I decided, hey, I should be using some of these strategies for myself. And so I dove all into wholesaling and creative financing. And I realized there was another gap in that industry that I could fill. And investors, creative buyers, and wholesalers, they were losing deals because they didn't have
the money right there. The money on hand
to secure.
And it's really only like a couple days, right? Like they need that money in order to like get to the contract.
To get the contract.
What did they call
under
it?
Contract EMD money.
EMD
is one.
Yeah, but there was another. There was another name for it, like
double closes.
Double closes
is another one of our big deals that we fund. But I could get into that a little bit more for sure. And I thought, okay, instead of competing with investors for these deals, I'm going to be the one to fund them.
Fill them, fill the gap. I love how you say that.
Yeah. And so now I help wholesalers and creative buyers with closing faster and protecting their spreads. That's really important to them, as well as scaling their business without them using any of their cash.
I love that.
Yeah.
And that's just so entrepreneur-like of you, like to fill that gap. You're like, okay, wait, no, I can do one better. Like, let me just, this feels like no one's even playing on this, and this is where we're going to go.
Right.
Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And so for some, you mentioned transactional funding. So for some that aren't familiar with that, like what exactly would be transactional funding, and how does it differ than like a traditional hard money loan?
Yeah, that's a great question. Because as investors, you want to know the right tool for the job, right? And so I like to think of hard money loans, right, which is a traditional financing loan, as like a sledgehammer. Why? Because fix and flippers need a big tool like that to get the job done. And so do buy and hold investors that need to buy, renovate, and rent as well.
Exactly.
Right? And these loans are long-term, usually 6 to 12 months. And they require heavy paperwork, right? They're going to check for appraisals and they're going to check for FICO scores and that kind of thing. that's necessary when you're a fix and flipper. But if you're a wholesaler or a creative buyer and you need transactional funding, this is same day capital.
Yeah.
So we don't need to check FICO. We don't need to check appraisals. We just need to make sure there's an end buyer in place and that they're spread at closing enough for us to get our money back plus our fee, right? And so I like to call that tool like a scalpel because it's precision capital.
Yeah.
You know, it's quick. It's like a day surgery. You go in, you cut it up, and
you just get it.
Get out.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's amazing too. And that is what they need because they would come to me and they're like, "Oh, gap funding is what they would ask me for."
Oh.
So is that kind of like the same?
It is a form of gap funding. Yeah. It's covering.
Because I started getting message for that all the time.
Yep.
And then I started because they only need it for. But if they don't have that, then their deal is dead. But if they could just hold on to, that money. So, yeah, that's huge. And you work with the investors out here, LA, Orange County, any out of state or all here?
Mostly out of state.
Okay. Oh, wow.
But, being from SoCal and networking with other investors around here, we help them as well. And I just have created a network of lenders and flippers, and I just connect them when they all need a deal to fund or a deal to flip.
Yeah. I love that. And how does the transactional funding kind of benefit the investors now in this market?
Yeah. That's a great question because transactional funding is year-round, right?
Okay.
There's going to be wholesalers in this business forever, and they're going to need EMD and double closes. Those are the two primary things that they look to fund. But what's really special about this market right now, for one of our products that we offer is called a stack method.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's powerful because it's a shifting market, right? Sellers are sitting longer than usual. And so that allows buyers to go to sellers and negotiate terms, okay? Terms like seller financing, subject to, and the stack method. Yeah. That's what we fund, which covers the down payment, and some closing costs, and even puts money in the pocket for the buyer that's acquiring these deals.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a game changer.
Yeah.
Who would be utilizing that? Would that be like a wholesaler or
a wholesaler? What they could do is refer a deal to a creative buyer.
Okay.
Because sometimes wholesalers, they can't lock down a property with cash terms.
Yeah.
Because the seller wants more money, right? And in order to get the seller more money, that's when the stack method comes into play.
Okay.
Because they get about 75% of their equity out, and then they finance the rest on terms for passive income.
Okay. And this is to the buyer or the seller?
For the buyer.
For the buyer.
The buyer is the one that's structuring these terms with the seller, because the seller is open to these terms, given that they haven't been able to sell their property at the value that they believe the property is worth, right?
100%.
Yeah.
And this market too, because I'm kind of on the same, with my clients, I know it looks like the market is in a certain state, and yes, it's a crazy market up and down, but it's also like everybody is getting seller credits, and I'm like, this is when you're going to get the better negotiations. Like for these investors, like a time, once the rates go down and stuff and they're able to put their houses back on the market maybe and go faster, then they're not going to be as as like willing. Yeah, because some people have to sell. Like it's not a matter of if.
Yes.
Some people need that money and need whatever they can take. So depending, you never know what you never know what that person is enough for that person.
Yeah.
I think that's too, a lot of
You never
people,
know.
because it happens to us too, like we're afraid to pitch a certain thing, or maybe because we wouldn't, but it's like, it's not about you. Like, present every deal and every offer, because you don't know what is enough or suitable to that other person. Like,
Absolutely.
you might not think it's a great deal. They might think it's an amazing deal.
Yeah, it is.
Like 100%. I mean,
It is.
so I feel like, this market that's why I've been trying to, learn more strategies, connect more people, especially my investors out here. I do work with like a lot of wholesalers. Me, not really work with them as much, but I know a lot of them.
Yeah.
So then I'm just trying to help them plug in. I feel like,
Yeah.
that's when I bring you in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's the way it works.
Yeah.
We have to deepen our relationships with key players like that, because
Yeah.
we all keep, the
Yeah.
business running.
100%. Yeah, because earlier you were like, you're surprised, like me as a loan officer, and we've built like a friendship, but because I've never been like that. Like, oh, I'm not going to share my people. Like, no, I stay in my own lane. Like, they know to come to me. They know to come to me for certain things. But if I can't do gap funding, like, absolutely, like that's where I'm going to build that relationship with you guys, because I trust you, and then I know that they'll trust you. So
Yeah.
But some people, I feel like, maybe they're like greedy. Like, no, if I can't get it, then they're not going to get it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're afraid to lose
or to
business,
lose a
and
client later. Like, oh, well, then if they just want to do that, like, no, but you make it, like, they know that, they know to come to me for like DSCR loans. But if they need that on the fly, like, and I'm still the person that you're doing the work, but I'm still like, sending them to the person.
Yeah.
So,
And, in my business, I like to compensate my
Yeah.
referral partners, right?
Yeah.
And as we all do, especially if it's like private money, right? We're not talking about the qualified institutional money,
Yeah.
right? We're talking about private money. Everyone
but just
helps
like,
each
and
other out.
everybody's working, for each other. I feel like that's just, it doesn't have to be, but there are people like that in the industry that aren't,
Yeah.
But then I feel like they probably fell off in this, because you've had to, in this market, like, you've had to adapt and, really stick in and build the relationship. So I feel like we will see. I feel it turning. What are some of the advantages of using, like, so you also do 100% financing and escrow protection? So don't even think that I'm really like familiar about these.
Yeah.
So maybe you can kind of explain those and how that will benefit them in this market.
Yeah, so the advantage of 100% financing and transactional funding is that you're using other people's money.
Yeah.
OPM, right?
So they don't need anything like down.
Right.
So
no money is coming out from the investor's pocket. And there is a school of thought out there that people say, well, if they're flippers and they're wholesalers, shouldn't they have money? Shouldn't they be able to fund their own deals? And the answer is absolutely. They have money, and they can, and they do. But we're talking about investors that want to scale their business. So they want to go from doing 1 to 3 deals to maybe 3 to 5 or 5 to 10, right? So now they need to leverage other people's money. And in this market, I like to tell my investors, cash is king. That's what we're all told.
That's what I do too.
Right? But leverage is the emperor. Because with 100% financing, if you're a fix and flipper, you're going to get your down payment covered, your closing cost. You're not going to make any payments, And yes, it's going to cost you a little bit more than if you were financing it, but you're better off making something on a deal than nothing at all.
Yeah. So they won't have payments on that usually for, is it like a couple months?
It could be anywhere from 6 to 12 months.
Oh, wow. And if you're like an experienced flipper, like you should be able to have that house flipped
Done. Fast.
before a year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you can't, then that would be intense.
Well,
but there are a lot of I know random things come up.
Well,
but even
absolutely,
a year is a long time for like a flipper. I feel like most are trying 3 to 6.
If it's an average size home,
yeah.
But if we're talking about a big home,
commercial,
like we have one right now that was financed just last month.
Yeah.
It's a great deal. It was in Scottsdale. 6,000-7,000 square foot home.
Oh, wow.
Right? So the purchase price was $2.5 million. The reno and plus contingencies was like $1.5 million. So we're all in now at like $4 million. And the ARV after the repairs are done is $5.5 million.
Wow.
Right? So
okay.
After you pay your seller, your agent, their commissions, the flipper is going to make like $1.25 million.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Minus the cost for the money, and they're still walking away with more than half of that profit. And it's going to take them 12 months because this is a big deal.
This is a big,
And so the thing is, this person is known as a good business person.
They know what they're doing.
We know that he's done this before. He's got the credibility, the previous HUD statements or the previous partnerships with lenders, and so it was a no-brainer to finance that kind of deal.
What about if they are kind of brand new? How do you, if they want to get kind of some skin in the game, but they found a property, but maybe it is like their first or second one. Do you guys do they get higher on the fees? Do you guys hold anything collateral?
It's actually not going to be feasible to do 100% financing for a new investor.
Yeah.
Because they need experience. That's the lender has to vet the borrower, and part of the vetting is that they have experience.
So it's definitely a lot of trust. Like you guys don't just give 100% financing. You have to. It's something you can earn. Okay,
No.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Okay.
And so what we strongly advise them to do is to partner. If they come across a great deal that they get under contract.
Will you guys give them a partner in mind?
We could either assign them, introduce
them.
Like,
hey, this person is really experienced.
Exactly.
They're same kind of vibe.
If they like each other and they want to do business together.
Nice.
Then
that's pretty cool.
This new person is bringing the deal to the table. The experienced person is bringing experience, and we're bringing the financing. And
nice.
There we go.
I really like that it's like, because I was thinking that if somebody just needed, because I do have a lot that are kind of new.
Yeah. That ask about.
Yeah, the experience. No, 100%. That makes sense. Because I was like, man, how do you guys just giving it out to everybody? No. Okay.
Not.
But I do love that even more that they have the opportunity to be, you're not just going to turn them away. Like, hey, you might have somebody that they could vibe with.
Absolutely.
That, especially it's the same thing what I do. And, I connect people with like certain realtors or, I'm not just picking them because that's who I work with. Like I do put certain people with the intention of like, okay, their personality, like they're going to be good for this person, And it's just it's not like all of my business just goes to like one person or, I do try to think like who, because that's where you're going to get the success.
Yeah, that's nice that you do
that's
that.
Huge.
But it's what makes you and everyone else around you successful.
Yeah.
So keep doing
what
that.
if they have, what if it's like a gap funder? Like what if they're kind of a new investor? It's like their first wholesale deal and they just like want to hold it Is it like just, would it be kind of like who referred them that they might be able to do it, or they just need experience first? Or depending on how much it is.
What do you mean by if they're a new wholesaler?
Like if they're like a new investor, not trying to get 100% financing, but they're just like they have their first deal and they just need that like gap funding.
Yeah.
Like as long as
again,
it's if the numbers
to
somebody who's experienced.
They're going to need to partner with somebody that's experienced, that's willing to teach them, right? And also take the lead on this for a split of the profit.
Will the experienced person basically be the one though on there? Like they're going to be.
The person is going to manage the whole project.
Yeah, they're going to be the ones that are basically liable.
They're going to be liable.
Okay.
Right? Their name's going to be on everything. They're going to have to be the credit sponsor, right, on the loan, because no one else is going to give the new investor the loan.
Yeah.
So the new investor who brings a great deal to an experienced investor, they'll partner with that guy every single time if it's a great deal. We're not talking about just a property, random property.
Just like random, but as long as they come with like all the numbers make sense.
All the numbers make sense, there's enough spread there for both of them to make money, then the experienced investor will be happy to
I love that.
take over and help. Yes.
And I feel like in this market and just investors, it's the best route for you. Like you could do a lot on your own and like kind of learn, but I've talked to a lot of investors and it's like just find a mentor, find a partner, someone who's experienced.
Yeah, you don't want to do everything by yourself as a newbie because you'll burn yourself out.
I've heard some horror stories.
Yeah. You'll quit before you even find
make money. And that's the worst. And that is like, I get it. I've been there, building my business, and it is like, gosh, but you can't give up because you still, you haven't made it. You're like, gosh, I can't. You just have to keep going.
It's better. You're way better off to
100%
share, the
team is everything.
With others, so that you also share the responsibility and
and the errors. I mean, that's the biggest thing, especially in real estate. It's not, the experience is all the things that went wrong and how to bypass them on the next one. It's like our loan process. Like I've been through this thing. I've closed over 100 loans. Like, but every loan is different, and every time most of the loans in the process are almost like almost every loan at some point in that process is like about to fall through or something. Like just trying to like keep it afloat and keep everything going. So I feel like real estate is always just, if you can meet someone, like see somebody like me, I know all the like I do very good expectations, and I hold their hand and stuff. So I like that is the main reason why somebody would, like to work with me. I can lay it all out, but I can also project like this might blow up later, but we're okay now. But I feel like in real estate, that's what you need.
Yeah.
Someone that can see that down the road.
Foresee all the possible, mistakes that one can make as a beginner, and you want to avoid that. So you should be willing to pay anything to avoid that at all costs.
100%. And let's do some advice to our investors, maybe like a couple tips. So you are mainly out of state right now, that you work with a lot of out of state. What is some advice that you have to our investors?
There's definitely some hot tips out there for investors, because it really does differentiate those that are key players versus pretenders, right?
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. Because the number one rule really is you want to build your bench before you need it.
Yeah.
And what that means is don't get a property under contract without having the right partners, key players, like your finance people in
Or
place.
the money.
You know, the money, all of the resources you're going to need. Don't, because then you're going to let down the seller, you know, and it gives the whole industry a bad name. So that's the rule number one, right? And rule number two is you also want to underwrite a property using like today's ARV numbers, not the optimistic ARVs of 2021. And so we get people that ask us to finance deals and they're exaggerating numbers, and so there's just no room there, right, for error, and so we can't finance those type of deals. So it's important to just stay in reality instead of like living in the
building them in the, I have seen that. Yeah. When they're building, or just even a future market that may not exist.
Yeah.
So definitely do them off these numbers. Absolutely. Yeah, because even people have sent me deals that I send to all my investors, and it's just not. I was like, wait a minute. Okay, we need to look at why everyone's denying these.
Yeah, and you know the other one I like to keep on the forefront mind of all the investors is they want to stack strategies. Like they're stacking, you know, the Eiffel Tower, right? Because there are so many out there, and you want to mix traditional loans with private money loans, gap loans, right? Seller financing and transactional funding. All of these strategies will help you make more returns because single tool strategies are going to produce single-digit returns. The multi-tool strategies will produce multi-six-figure years for a lot of investors.
100%. That is amazing advice.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay,
Thank you.
Final question here. Just kind of to look at the rest of this year. So we're already, like, this is the final quarter, I think, right? Yeah, we're in October. So winter season, usually down. What kind of are you predicting or seeing ahead? Do you think that you guys are slowing down at all, kind of going into the next year? I mean, I think that we're going to start seeing some real shifts, but.
Yeah. You know, we're actually in the golden era of creative finance right now.
Okay.
There are some investors that will complain about the high rates, and they're going to get left behind because the smart investors, they are realizing that this perfect storm is creating opportunities for alternative strategies. And so that produces opportunities for us as transactional funders, because, you know, the stack method is a creative financing strategy, and there's a lot of educational resources out there, you know, people can look into. But given that we know that investors who leverage other people's money and they learn to master creative financing, that they're going to dominate this market. So it's my job to make sure that we have the funding available for these deals, and we can fund up to $100 million right now. For double closes, right? And up to $1 million on the stack method. So we have quite a bit, but we continue to build our relationships with key players, and just invest in our own growth, like masterminds you were saying you love to do. I do too. And just in our business overall, to make our systems and processes smooth so that we can make sure we get our clients to the closing table.
Yep. Amazing advice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to thank you so much for coming in. I'm going to have all of her information below. If you want to get in that strategy, seller financing, this is who I would send you to. So I will have everything below. Thank you.
Thank you.